Credit Union, you can bank on learning more. Find out how they can help you and your family with their products and services by clicking their banner ad on top of the police blotter page of TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Brian Barnhart here, the voice of the Fighting Illini, inviting Illini Nation to listen for Fighting Illini sports this season on New Country 104.1. From every kickoff during football season to the closing horn of every basketball game, you'll hear them in Christian County and surrounding area on your home for Fighting Illini sports, New Country 104.1. Follow the orange and blue and go Illini.
Brought to you by Bob Ridings and Secret Lee's Insurance Services, both in Pana, and Adam Jeffrey with Craig's Realtors in Taylorville.
WTIM.
Good morning, Central Illinois, and welcome to the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first and landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Reed Kamai, in for Grayson Bauman this morning. You know, this year is a pretty big milestone for Anderson Jewelers. It's their 150th anniversary. And here to talk about that and much more, I've got Shanta Cordaway. I think I've said that correctly.
Yes, you did.
At Anderson Jewelers. Shanta, thanks for coming in.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about you first. Just kind of how you got there, your background in this sort of area. Talk a little about that.
Well, I have worked retail on and off. I've always been a big fan of jewelry. I stopped in Anderson's actually when I was in high school. My class ring came from Anderson, and also another piece of jewelry, probably the first real piece of gold jewelry that I'd ever received came from there when I was young. So anyway, I had stopped in there and was doing some shopping, and I met Heidi Corso, the owner. We hit it off. Anyway, I was looking for a job at the time. I had been doing counseling. I was looking to change fields a little bit, and she gave me a job, and we've done very well.
Yeah, and you mentioned there that you said you had that piece of jewelry, right, that had been passed down, and I remember you and I were talking a little bit before we got on that one of the things you've been able to do being around for 150 years is that, you know, certain pieces of jewelry have been kind of passed down, and you've been able to sort of rework some of them so that they can, you know, reuse it, right, you know, down future generations, which seems, I think, really cool.
Yes. Like you mentioned, it is our 150th anniversary at Anderson Jewelers, which I think is just a really cool thing to be a part of. Like I said, with the ring that I received, my daughter has it now. You know, it's the first real piece of jewelry that she had as well. But we have families that, you know, have been coming for, you know, a century or century and a half, you know, 150 years. Their great grandparents had a piece of jewelry, and they passed it down through the family, and you know, now someone new is receiving it either to use for themselves, and they'll come in and say, hey, can you make this look like it's brand new? I really love this and I want to use it. And of course we can do that usually because we have a really great jeweler. His name is Mark Rafer. He's from Springfield, and he has been working at Anderson Jewelers for over 40 years. He comes in every single week and works generally until every single job is done as much as he possibly can. So we do try to keep our customers happy, but sometimes people will come in and they'll want things refinished, or they'll want things recreated. Say, you know, grandma had a beautiful stone and a piece of jewelry that, you know, the granddaughter or whoever's receiving it just really doesn't suit their personality. Sometimes they'll bring it in and say, hey, I love this. This is so sentimental. Can you make it something that suits my personality better? And of course, we love doing that. That's a really fun thing to be able to do for people.
Yeah. And so it seems like, you know, it might be easier to sort of rework the original piece of jewelry to work for that person, maybe more so than it is to just find another piece that you might be able to sell originally? Or it depends, maybe.
It depends on how specific what they're looking for is, what their style is. But yeah, it's often more efficient to remake a piece into a new setting than it is to try to find something that's already being manufactured that would actually fit the stones that they have. It depends on the actual ring that they have. But yeah, it's really cool to be a part of history like that. And one thing that I think is really fun about Anderson is that we have all the original cabinetry. And I don't know, maybe a lot of people know this. I didn't know this when I started, that the jeweler back in, the late 1800s or whatever was usually the person that made eyeglasses. So we actually have a lot of vintage eyeglasses and different advertisement pieces or different tools and jewelry things that the original jewelers would use, which I think is really, really neat.
No, that is. So you've got, so in addition to the jewelry, you've got the eyeglasses as well. And you're back in, so you mentioned the original cabinetry. Now, we were talking earlier as well. So that's in the building that they first opened up in 125 or 150 years ago.
The second building. Okay. In 1875, they opened up. And then in the early 1900s, I am probably going to misquote this. I believe it was somewhere around 1905-ish. Yeah. They moved to our current location. So yeah, that building has been there for a long time.
Yeah, it seems like it. And then, are able to kind of bring back some of the original look while also, being able to really put together a lot of great jewels and help people keep that up, which is awesome. So you've got the on-site jeweler you mentioned. He's been doing it for 40 years. And I understand there aren't a whole lot of people like that in the area, which, is certainly good for business. And I would imagine means a lot of people turn to you folks.
Absolutely. It is good for our business. It's maybe not the best for the industry in itself. It's kind of a shame to see that craft kind of going to the wayside. But yeah, Mark has been there for over 40 years at our store. He's worked at multiple other locations, but we're the only store that he's with now. And he does beautiful work. It is really interesting to watch him work and see how jewelers work on the little finite pieces of jewelry and how they refinish gold and remake things. It's kind of incredible. And I mean, to look at him, he doesn't really work with the customers much, but to look at him, you would not think this man was a jeweler. He's got a more of a kind of a gruff exterior. If I met him, I would have thought maybe he was in a rock band at some point. I would not have thought he was a jeweler, and he is the coolest guy. But yeah, it is really nice because I believe it's about 50-mile radius is the closest on-site jeweler. And, people get sentimental about their jewelry and they just really don't want to send it out. And we try to avoid that if possible. So we're really lucky that we're able to still provide that service.
So, 50 miles out. So you probably get plenty of folks from towns probably right around that 50-mile radius. Like what's the furthest away, to your knowledge, you've gotten someone from?
I've been there a little over a year. And I think we've had a few people from out of state, but in Illinois, we have a couple from up around Chicago. Yeah, kind of all over Carbondale area. We have a few people from out of state that use us. Yeah, I mean, not having an on-site jeweler does bring in a lot of business, which is wonderful for us.
Chicago, you mentioned that. I mean, I'm sure they have places, in their area.
But I mean, they do. I really don't know why they ended up here. I don't know specifically. Maybe the prices were not, because in bigger cities, they're going to be more expensive. Maybe they wanted to come somewhere that was more cost effective, or maybe they had family in the area and stopped in. I'm not really sure, but that's one that I know for sure was up by Chicago.
Or maybe you folks are just better.
Well, I mean, that's possibly true. I like to believe that. I like to think we do a pretty great job. We're pretty big on customer service. We like being a part of the community and being able to give back.
Yeah, well, if I were you, I would have just run with a better thing. I am talking with Shanda Cordaway, manager at Anderson Jewelers, here on the WTIM Morning Show. Why don't we take our break, and then we'll be back and continue the conversation right here on WTIM, your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
Hi, this is Leah Steckemeyer with People's Bank and Trust, and I'm here to share information about our Save by Spending programs. Save by Spending Roundup, where we round up your debit card purchases to the next dollar and put that change in your savings account. Also, our Save by Spending Rewards program. You can earn cash back on all qualifying signature-based debit card purchases. Call 888-PBT-1954 and learn more about our Save by Spending programs. At People's Bank and Trust, we put you and your savings first. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
At Taylorville Memorial Hospital, great care is a team effort. It's expert doctors, compassionate nurses, and advanced technology, all working together to deliver the best care possible for you and your family. From preventive testing to advanced procedures, Taylorville Memorial Hospital is where great care comes together for you. Visit memorial.health/TMH to see a full list of hospital services, the latest news, and additional resources like visitor information, careers, and more.
Fall is finally here, and that means cooler weather, football, and Halloween celebrations featuring the delicious taste of Prairie Farm seasonal milk in 1-quart cartons. This year's lineup includes fantastic fall flavors like pumpkin spice, peppermint mocha, and chocolate mint. Enjoy them on their own or as part of your favorite fall cocktail. Look for Prairie Farms flavored milk cartons at your favorite grocery stores, and then visit prairiefarms.com for coupons and delicious fall recipes. Celebrate the taste of fall with locally made, naturally delicious Prairie Farms flavored milk.
Promoting student success is our priority at Taylorville Schools. This is Superintendent Brandy Bruley with an invitation to discover the exceptional achievements of our students and staff during our monthly Taylorville Schools Good News segment. Join us the first Thursday of every month at 8:40 on the WTIM Morning Show on air on the WTIM audio stream and the WTIM video stream on Facebook and YouTube TV. Students, teachers, and administrators will share how we're fostering student excellence each day. Tune into the WTIM Morning Show for our Good News segment. And go Tornadoes.
WTIM listeners from Witt to Shelbyville and Awanaco to Ramsey can now hear your information station even clearer at a new place on the FM dial. WTIM now has an additional dial position at 107.9, transmitting at some 280 feet from a tower on the south edge of Pana. Hear the latest local news and agriculture information, swap shop, and more in southern Christian, northern Fayette, and eastern Montgomery counties from WTIM. Even better now at 107.9 FM. Set a button on your radio for WTIM in the Pana area now at 107.9 FM.
CTI is the only internet company that offers no data caps and limitless data for limitless possibilities. They're your local internet provider. Sign up by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Cousin Bill here from Illinois Paving. Hey, Christian County and surrounding area, let us do your paving job, whether large or small this year. Find out how we can do your paving project by clicking on the icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Reed Camai, this morning, and I continue my conversation with Shanda Cordaway, the manager at Anderson Jewelers. Now, you folks have a donation campaign coming up. Tell our listeners about that.
Yes. So, with the economy the way it is, groceries still being very high, and the whole SNAP funding issue, we've noticed that there's been a lot of campaigns for the food pantry. They've been asking a lot for donations. So we are partnering with them. We will be entering now through Thanksgiving, anyone that comes in, the customers that come in and bring food donations for the Taylorville Food Pantry will be entered into a drawing, which we're going to do on Black Friday for a $100 gift card towards any purchase at Anderson Jewelers. We just want to give back something to the community and help out as much as we can. I think it's important that everyone go to all of the food drives, like if there's one at your local market or, at a Walmart or somewhere, anything, or even just stop in your food pantry. I also noticed that they were asking for volunteers. One thing that I noticed on there was there's no age limit on volunteers there, which isn't the case at a lot of places. So I know when my kids were younger, I really wanted to be able to find some place to volunteer. I didn't really know a lot of options for that. But some of them have age limits where they have to be 18. They don't have that. So, go volunteer, help out, encourage your kids to, be good, helpful members of our community.
That's right. And you picked a great time to do it. There's obviously the situation with the SNAP benefits. So, they certainly need the help more than ever. Actually, we had the Taylorville Food Pantry on yesterday, right on this show. So, great that you folks
Nice.
are getting involved. I want to talk about your website as well. You've got that up. What can folks expect when they go on?
You will be able to see pictures of inventory. We're working on uploading them. We have a lot of new inventory coming in. We're stocking up for the holidays. We have everything from gold chains to colored gemstones, diamond jewelry, of course, engagement and wedding rings. We do have some fashion jewelry for people. There's a Holiyashi line that has a lot of colorful pieces. A lot of them are very nature related. It's a very, very popular fashion line of jewelry. So we encourage everyone. I think we try to have something for everyone. Everyone stop in, check it out.
So, and I bet that website will also really help for some of those people who maybe would travel longer distances, right? They can log on, see.
They can log on. And for quite a long time, the website was not functioning. There was some problem with the domain name or something, and they worked it out. And finally, we have a website up, and it does display jewelry pieces that we have. It gives information about our hours. There's been confusion about hours because the old website said the incorrect hours, and you could still see it, but it wasn't ours. We couldn't change it or do anything with it. So now that's all straightened out. The hours are on there. They should be right on Google. Just so everyone knows, we are closed on Mondays at this point. We are open Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 5. And then Saturdays, we're open 9 to 2. At this point, we will be likely extending hours for holiday time, for holiday shopping, obviously, for those who just, work and have different schedules. And we, are often willing to help out, if someone has something that is really important and they need help with it and they need us to look into it. Texting the information on the website, you can contact the store. I can take information. We can text back and forth images or information, whatever you want, and try to work around things if a tight schedule occurs.
How much of a boost in business do you typically get right around the holiday season?
It's significant. Oh. It's already started. Yes. Okay. We've already noticed people coming in and getting ideas for the holidays or coming in and putting things on their wish list. Ladies, that's you mostly. Come in and put stuff on the wish list for your hubbies. But yeah, we will see quite an increase in the coming few weeks, and we encourage it. We love it. And I mean, it's more than just making sales. To me and to the owner, we both really feel strongly that we like to build those relationships with the customers because it is a generational business. These customers might have been coming for years, or they might have their kids coming for generations to come. So, we like to try to keep people happy. We like to try to work with budgets and ideas, and, just try to feel like we're building something, being a part of people's history rather than just getting them in and out the door.
That is great. That's a great way to really approach what it is you folks do. We've got about a minute left. When I let you into the website, I probably should have asked what the website is. Why don't you share that for our listeners?
Yes, you should say that. It's AndersonJewelers.com. On Facebook, we are Andersons with an S, but it is AndersonJewelers.com.
Okay, yeah, and then we got less than a minute left. I understand you do quite a bit of interactivity on social media. Just talk a little bit about that in the little time we have.
Yeah, we do. We have a Facebook page. We love hearing from our customers. We encourage anyone to send in pictures of proposals or special moments that include our jewelry, or, you know, if you wanted to write in a story or send pictures of previous generations or tell us a fun story. We would love, love, love to hear from you. And that's also a great way to communicate with us.
That is awesome. That is Shanda Cordaway, manager at Anderson Jewelers. Shanda, thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
And this, of course, is the WTIM morning show on your information station. We'll be back in just a little bit. Stay tuned to WTIM, your information station.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville. 96.1 FM Taylorville. 107.5 FM Shelbyville. 107.9